Hey everybody! We've been gone for 8 months.
Yeah, it's been 8 months. In that time, Nintendo has announced an official remake of Super Mario RPG.
Super Mario RPG!
And a lot of people have been asking about this project in regards to that. A lot of people leaving comments on the YouTube video right afterwards saying how bad they felt for us, which is always
Please pity
great.
us.
Yeah, please pity us. You know, the game's coming out, the remake's coming out, I think, at the time of recording in about 2 weeks.
Oh, I didn't know it was actually coming out that soon.
Oh yeah, no, it's coming out on the 17th.
We're a little late.
We're a little late, so I just wanted to get something out before the actual remake comes out, because I think after that, number one, who cares? Number two, it's just like redundant. And that's kind of part of the reason why it's taken so long to record a new devlog. There's been a lot of things kind of getting in the way, but an official remake being announced is kind of like the biggest nail in the coffin. I didn't really ever think that this was a thing that was going to happen, which is kind of why, or part of the reason I started the project is like...
You wish and pray to every single Nintendo
I know,
Direct.
I mean, I just, like, it felt like it was going to happen for so long, and then it didn't. And then, you know, they didn't put Geno in Smash, so it seemed like the legality, copyright was kind of up in the air, so I figured, you know, it's safe to just take as much time as I wanted on this.
You were so wrong.
I was so wrong. And it's weird because it's something that I really wanted to happen, but it kind of puts me in a weird space having that actually come true, you know, and then it's like, well, why am I doing this project if it's just gonna come out if somebody did all the work anyway?
Yeah. Again, please
pity us. Please pity us. So the announcement was exciting. There were some leaks that came out like a day before, which I saw but didn't really think that was gonna happen. Watched I think the direct live, and it was crazy. I think at first I didn't really vibe with it that much, especially that like intro sequence I thought was pretty off. And a lot of the character models, I just don't like at all. I've come around to like almost all of them at this point, but like,
yeah. Did you like DK's model or not?
No, DK's model is probably the worst offender.
Okay, yeah, I think I remember you saying that.
like Peach and Bowser, I didn't really like at first, but since then I've come around to. I think I was talking about this a little bit on even Twitter, that like, I don't even really think it's that big of a deal. It's just like what I've been doing for the past year or so is looking so closely at all of the official artwork and trying to like replicate it that I'm just like hyper tuned to what things are supposed to look like and my own like kind of headcanon of how to adapt that.
Yeah, Nintendo don't know nothing.
First impression was, you know, pretty awesome, but also like it's taken me a long time from this specific weird perspective to come around to the style, and now, you know, I'm all for it. I think if I wasn't excited, like, why would I have worked on a fan remake for this long?
Yeah.
But in terms of other things that have gotten in the way, you know, number one, obviously the remake being real.
Super Mario RPG!
Number two, the software that I was using to make this, Unity, has gone through a lot of shit recently, just in terms of just basically fucking over all indie creators.
We love to hear that.
So, and, you know, on top of that, there's, you know, I have a full-time job, and I moved over these past few months. So there's been a lot going on and not a lot to really motivate that, like, passion that I had at the beginning of the project. Just because it felt like every time I started working on it again, there's a new thing, you know, does it even matter? So, but that's not to say that I haven't done any work. I actually, you know, tried my best to kind of finish up and put a bow on like what I've already started and what I've shown. I wish I had done more of the game, but I think the whole point of the project originally, I mean, aside from the actual remaking part of it, is just to learn how to make a game, right? And the easiest way to learn something is to emulate. So, I mean, that's what I was doing, and I learned a lot, but the flip side of that is every new thing I learned made it so the stuff that I did in the past for this project, I would have to go back and redo, or I wouldn't have to go back, but
You're a little perfectionist.
It was painful to leave stuff in a state that I thought didn't look good. The parts that I did work on or did finish I'm pretty proud of those, but could have done more. Probably gonna feel like that until the new remake comes out.
Well, you got 2 weeks.
I got 2 weeks, yeah. That is all to say that, like, this is probably the last time I'm gonna be working on the remake.
Well, damn. Do you want to talk about what you've done so far in these last 8 months?
Yeah, I mean, besides all of the stuff I've already talked about, I redid a lot of the textures, I remade a lot of the like character animation, I changed the way there's an internal thing in just the movement script, so Mario's no longer propelled by a constant velocity, and his animation is actually controlling the speed he's going. It's kind of a technical thing that no one really cares about except for me.
Hey,
but
I care.
I think it looks nice.
Looks beautiful. You're just showing it to me.
Thank you. I finally figured out how to do I think I was complaining about this in the last devlog, but the trails. There's like the ground planes, where you have the grass and then the mud and then the path.
Yeah.
And I think I might have talked about this before, but the issue was just that the way I had it, I was just like blending between textures. Then I just like adding a bunch of geometry on top, like these little pebble things, which are fine, but if you're viewing them up close, they look really ugly, and every one of them has a collider, which is like awful for performance. So I went through this like whole rabbit hole of trying to figure out like what splat maps are to like control the height and like trying to figure out like how to blend the existing like texture blending in Unity with just like a custom thing, and like trying to learn all these like shader solutions, going through forums and forums of like how other people do this, and trying to research like how Nintendo does it with like models from Link's Awakening and whatnot. Tried out a bunch of solutions for something that no one's ever gonna care about, and that doesn't really make much of a difference.
Hey, like you said, that's practice for the next game.
Yeah, practice for the next game, and it's all about learning. So great for me, but if your view of the project is solely to remake the game, probably not good for you. But what I settled on is I was like sketching out a bunch of stuff on a sticky note, and I was like, well, what if I separate all these meshes so I can have them dynamically like change position? And then it hit me like, why don't I just sculpt on this detail? Like, I don't need to have a giant texture. I don't need to have like all this fancy stuff. I can just go into Blender and sculpt stuff out and import it back in. Really not difficult. And it took me like a year to figure out. Unless you have like seamless terrain, if you just have a chunk of it, there's nothing stopping you from just making that super custom. And trying to find a dynamic solution to handle that is nice, but if you don't have a lot of experience, it's really gonna take so much of your time. But anyway, I did that.
Hell yeah.
I redid the grass, I redid the hills, and I took a lot of cues from just screenshots of the remake, because I think the one thing I was most unhappy about with my work was just I didn't have a lot of experience putting together a 3D environment in Unity. So remade a lot of the stuff, added a lot of stuff to create visual interest, and yeah. I feel like I've been talking for a while.
I mean, that's how a devlog goes. You gotta explain yourself.
Oh, I made the like naming screen.
Hell yeah.
So you get to put your name in. And I fixed up the pause screen a little bit so that Mario comes out of the tube when you open it.
Okay.
Also adjusted the font everywhere. So pretty cool.
I think it's pretty cool too, man. Comic Sans everywhere.
But yeah, pretty much the project is over. I know a lot of people are, interested in kind of my take on the game and my style and things like that, and I'm really grateful for that. But I think with the official remake coming out, it gives me less of a reason to continue that, and it feels redundant. As an artist, it feels like there's something more that I could be doing. So I kind of just wanting to do something else at this point. I still really like putting together games. The next thing I'm doing is trying to make a small game, and that's, everyone's advice to first-time indie devs is just to finish something, and you never really think about that until you're just drained from working on a big project and having to learn so much.
And then there's nothing really complete at the end.
Yeah. So that's what I'm doing. The next project that I'm gonna be working on is a game called Goose Chase. If you've ever played Nintendo Land, it's kind of like the Mario Chase from that game. So yeah, we'll probably be talking about it on this channel. We'll have devlogs probably more than once every 8 months.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully. And yeah, that'll be under our new indie branding as
Cuplo'Soft boys.
So that will be the game dev section of the channel as Cuplo'Soft, whereas the classic Couple of Geese will still be existing and will be releasing more episodes in the future.
Yeah, we got quite a few episode ideas that we need to get started on. Just start sketching together again, releasing stuff. I feel like you do a lot of 3D work nowadays.
Oh yeah. Do you want to talk about a little bit of what you've been doing in the past 8 months? Because I think that's a big deal too.
It's a huge deal. I've been slowly but surely learning how to draw. Everyone can draw, but I'm getting better at it so that I can start to show it on this channel, and hopefully with the next couple episodes, I'll make something. I'll make 1 or 2 things. Doing a FNAF episode for sure. We saw that in the theater. We'll talk all about it, but we'll see what happens with these Cuplo'Soft boys.
If you enjoy my work, you enjoy the, what's this called?
Devlogs.
If you enjoy the devlogs we've been doing, or you enjoy, the other content of us just drawing together and talking, consider supporting us. We have a new Patreon that I'm plugging here now.
Woohoo!
If you're interested in getting any of the...
Donate $1,000 and you get dinner with Finn.
I don't know about that. But I will be periodically posting some of the models I worked on for the Mario RPG remake on the Patreon. Some people have expressed interest in having those models for, some kind of mod for the remake. I don't really know how to do any of that, but if you want to take any of the models from the Patreon and do that yourself, you're more than welcome. But those will be coming out periodically. If you want access to any of those or just want to, support your boys, consider joining the Patreon.
Yeah, consider it.
Consider it.
We'll think highly of you if you do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyways, goodbye, y'all. Kisses, hugs,
kisses.
Support FNAF.
Support FNAF. All right. Peace out.